Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today I'll be presenting to you my Dubai Property Investment Hotlists, where we rank property listings by their true ROI. So if you're looking for a high yield property investment in Dubai, look no further than this. I guarantee you won't find any better resource for searching for good investment properties here. Now, we'll show you how to find these properties. We'll look at how to use the hot lists effectively for the key areas we currently have and learn a bit about analyzing property opportunities. So why am I doing this? Well, my goal is a personal goal actually, to help everyday people achieve strong, consistent ROI of 8% plus in some cases from low cost, low risk ready properties in Dubai. I'm not an agent. I'm not here to sell you any property directly, but I am encouraging people to give property a chance in Dubai because it can be really successful. You've just got to stick to a couple of key things. Now, I've come up with 5 key principles that tend to work most of the time, and that is to simply focus on small units. If you're looking for good annual or even monthly returns from your investments, the best ones you're going to get are from small units, studios, small one bedrooms, low cost investments to start with. You should also stick to ready properties only. Don't go and fall for any off-plan offers unless you've really researched them. Target vacant units, so don't buy units that are already rented, because the only reason they're being sold is because the owner probably can't increase the rent to the market value, so they are trying to get rid of this potentially poor investment. So target a vacant unit where you could potentially even renovate it and improve the rental potential and the subsequent rent. Maximizing rent through smart leasing, so thinking about how you prepare the property for rent, how you market it, how to arrange your own contracts and things like that, and also actually offering multiple checks will get you a higher rent. And finally, reinvest and compound your gains so you can do it all over again in a few years' time to build up a portfolio. So how to find these low cost and high yield properties? Now, I'm only focusing on the rent returns here. I'm not even considering really at this point the capital appreciation. But what I've created is a set of hot lists. These are simple Google Sheets, which you can all access. In fact, you can scan this code here to have a look at one right now as I'm talking through the examples. This is for Sports City. And you'll see it's basically a long list of properties that are for sale. And let's dive into the actual live sheet so I can show you more clearly how to use it. So I've opened now in full screen the Sports City Studio ROI hot list. Now, I've deliberately focused only on studios because they tend to give the best returns generally. We're also looking at only vacant studios, and we're also assuming that we're going to rent them fully furnished. So what these sheets actually do in the background, every week or so we update them. So this one is live as of 14th of December 2025. These are all genuine listings off of Bayut. So for example, this top one, if I click this, I'll be greeted with the actual unit, and I think this could have been, oh no, it's a slightly different one, but it's similar to a unit I used in one of my recent videos, in case you spotted that. But either way, the idea here is that we take the listing and we extract the exact information we actually need, which is the price. The price per square foot is handy to have. We look at the rent average, and we actually calculate this ourselves from the current asking prices for furnished units in that same building. So we also analyze rent in the background. The size comes from the listing. The service charges we input for every building in that particular area. So you don't need to go searching for them or trust what the agent says. You can literally see it all here. That gives us a service charge annual figure. And we even go as far as calculating your buying fees for you. So that's your DLD fee, your agent fee, and so on, and the real cost. So if I'm building up a 1 million dirham investment portfolio, I might actually target, let's say, this property in Royal Residence 1 and also this one in Amal Tower. And with a bit of negotiation, it might be possible to get this into 1 million dirhams And you can see that both of these would give you in excess of 8% true ROI. Now, why is true ROI so important? I keep going on about it because this number is usually what the agent will tell you. This number is what you're actually going to get. So the reason for that is when we buy the property, we don't just pay 420,000, we are actually adding various buying fees, which really bring the investment cost up to 450. So that's the first thing that no agent will tell you. The other thing is the rent. So you've got your rent average for this particular building is 43,000 dirhams, and this is per year, of course, for a furnished unit. Then we've got our service charges here, so we deduct those from the rent before we calculate the true ROI based off that as well. So this is like the worst case scenario, if you like, but it allows us to really focus on the correct type of units, because you can see even further down the list, way down here, the gross ROI is still good, but the true ROI is dipping below 7%. And to be honest, I wouldn't look at anything below 7.5% true. So these units right here in Sport City are the current best investments. And here are the links. You can go ahead and enlist the agent if you like. So that's Sport City then. We've also got area averages. So you can see on average in Sport City, it's possible to get about 7% true ROI. That's the average price per square foot. This is the average service charge, and that's the average kind of true final price if you go for an average unit. Now, we have multiple sheets, including Arjan. I've focused on the areas which I personally feel are the best to invest in at the moment. So that was Sport City just then. Now we've got Arjan. Again, lots of choice here of over 7.5. You've got all of these. So there's usually a good 8 to 10 units in each area that are actually worth looking at. In Arjan, there is quite a few other units, including all the way down here. We get really low returns in some of these. So obviously you'd only need to look at the top of the list in order to find them, but also bear in mind many other people will also be looking at these, so they're probably not going to last too long. We do update them weekly, so sometimes these will disappear and be replaced with new offers and so on, so you can check in on these sheets regularly, but the key thing you need to look at is the true ROI. This Samana Hills apartment has actually, I think, come down in price recently, and it seems as though the average rent there is quite high. For this sort of price, this is becoming a really strong investment. Anything over 9% is quite rare. So we've got a couple options in Samana. We've got a more expensive unit in Kew Gardens. You can have a look at any of these listings quickly and easily by accessing them on Bayut directly from the links and linking to the agents where needed. We also have Al Furjan, not as popular, well actually really popular place, but not so many buildings available here, mostly Azizi buildings, so you've got much tighter returns, I'd say, in this place. I wouldn't necessarily be focusing on this one if I had the choice, but you can have a look at Al Furjan. You can also have a look at JVC, where there are loads of buildings for sale, or loads of units for sale. You can see how many there are compared to the others. There's about 200, I think, in this list. All of them have been analyzed. You can potentially get a really strong ROI. There's one that's even 11%, 10%. So these have all been checked and confirmed against their service charges and so on. But either way, the only issue I have personally with JVC is that there's just so much availability that you're probably going to struggle to rent yours at this higher asking price, even if it is nicely furnished. So what I would be doing is, for example, this sober daffodil unit that seems to be a really strong contender. Let's have a look at it. I'll notice, first of all, there's no balcony, which is a big no-no for me. So this probably wouldn't rent at that higher price that we had estimated, because that will be assuming that it's perhaps there's some other units that are available for rent which are bigger than this, which have balconies and so on. So you can do some of your own research based on the listings, but at least we are focusing on this particular area. Belgravia 2 is a really strong unit. It's a great building, so it should be good quality. And these should all be vacant already. However, we can't verify that exactly for each unit, so you do need to double check when you contact agents based on these. But that's a strong contender because Belgravia buildings are really decent and you're getting a really strong return because their rent average is actually really high there. So that was JVC, and we've also even got Business Bay. So this, you'll see that the area average is actually lower returns, but the units tend to be more expensive. So if you want a bit less hassle, you're happy to spend a bit more, and maybe you believe in Business Bay more than some of those other areas, well, here we go. You'll see that most of it is J1 and Damac Maison. Acon City also comes up quite a lot. The only consideration for Business Bay you might want to have is some of these might be like serviced apartments, hotel apartments, things like that. So you just need to be a bit careful there. I would always try and find the older buildings. I think Ontario Tower here was quite good because it was one of the cheaper options. It could do with a bit of renovation and further improvement. So either way, you've got lists of 5 key areas available directly on our website now. So if you go onto propertyadvice.ae, you'll see this new link, find the best investment properties. It just goes over what you need to know, and then you've got the lists linked right here, completely for free for you guys to use. And please don't forget to join our Facebook group where we can discuss these things in more detail. If you are looking for more areas, or if you'd like some personal assistance regarding finding your next property using some of our tools and technology, let me know at info@propertyadvice.ae, and we can schedule a call or a coaching session. Thanks all. Hopefully you found these hot lists useful. Let me know if there's an area you wish I could look into, and maybe I'll add it to our site. In the meantime, happy property searching, and hopefully you've enjoyed learning a bit about it today.